In this video, we're going to talk about Christmas in Germany and the culture shocks I've had as a Latina during this time. For this video, I have a very special guest, that is Yvonne, who is my German wife.
Hello.
Who is going to give us the insights of Christmas in Germany. Hey, I'm Jen.
And Yvonne.
And we're from simplegermany.com, where we help expats settle into life in Germany more smoothly. So, let's get into it. So, Christmas season in Germany.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me, when do you start feeling like it's Christmas time in Germany?
Well, I mean, that's very subjective what I'm going to say here, but I'm trying to be very neutral and incorporate the Germans as a plural.
Well, yeah. Which is hard, obviously, but you know, from your perspective. Yeah.
From my perspective. At Christmas time, the feeling starts kind of like mid-November. Mid-November with the foods already having been in the supermarkets for ages. We can talk about that a bit later. With the Christmas markets starting to open and with the Advent season approaching.
Advent season. So that's the official term for like pre-Christmas time in Germany.
Absolutely, yes.
And what is so...
Adventszeit.
Adventszeit. Okay,
Yeah.
very okay. And what marks like the beginning of Advent season?
The Adventszeit. It starts with the fourth Sunday before Christmas Eve.
So we're not religious at all. So respect if you are. We totally respect this, but we don't really know about. But I'm pretty sure the Advent times it has a religion background, right? Because it's celebrated on a Sunday.
Yes.
And so what do you do?
So, like I said, the fourth the fourth Sunday before Christmas Eve, usually, traditionally, and yes, most likely religious background, every German family has a so-called Adventskranz. It's like an Advent wreath. I don't even know how to pronounce that.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
And we're going to put a picture here. Adventskranz is usually round, made from woodsy, outdoorsy things.
With and also leaves. I think it's
leaves,
like these kind of leaves, or?
No, it can be also like evergreen leaves,
okay.
Or these Lorbeerkranz.
Okay.
You know the one that Caesar was wearing?
Ah, yes, okay.
Yeah, that thing, yeah. And it has 4 candles, that's the important part, okay? So it has 4 candles, and each Sunday you lighten 1 candle. So that for Christmas, all 4 candles are lit, kind of like guiding the way, maybe also for like the family of Jesus to arrive, find the stay. I don't know, but that's basically the tradition. And whether you're religious or not, families still do it. That's kind of like again a countdown for Christmas.
Okay, so then we have this Advent season that starts the 4th Sunday before Christmas.
So sometimes it's the first Sunday in December. Sometimes it's the last Sunday in November. It just depends when Christmas is.
Okay, because I thought like Christmas season was gonna be, you know, determined by the Christmas markets and when they open.
I mean, again, you can ask whoever gives you a different answer. Yeah. Christmas markets usually, also they're open every year earlier, probably, you know, commercialism. Yeah. But they used to open also at the end of November. Now they're sometimes already open in the 3rd week of November. Each city is a bit different. So there's no one set date, to be honest.
But it's very close to when the Advent season starts, maybe? Or
it's maybe a week before the Advent season starts.
Okay, all right. Okay, so Christmas markets, do you go often as a German, or is it just a touristy thing?
Okay, so here's the thing. The entire Christmas season, Christmas in Germany, like I just said, begins way before the actual Christmas days, which we will discuss later. And the Christmas season before Christmas is a countdown for Christmas, which is usually spent mostly with friends and colleagues. Mm-hmm. So every company in Germany will have a Weihnachtsfeier,
which is a Christmas party.
Exactly.
But I would say Christmas parties are also like generally in other countries too,
Yeah,
right?
but it's like a very traditional thing.
Okay.
And it's part of it. And sometimes you join one of your partner. Then you meet up with friends to answer your questions a million times at the Christmas market. Like seriously, every single friend that you have who want to meet you at the Christmas market. So if you want to be that one friend that meets the other friend, and that friend is German, you gotta make that date 3 months in advance.
So you have to tell your German friend 3 months in advance, hey, I want to meet you for the Advent season in the Christmas market, and then you kind of have to like cross your fingers that they have time.
Kind of like that. I'm serious. I mean, 3 months maybe a bit exaggerated, but
6 months is better.
But for myself, I know that in Christmas season, sometimes I just like, Jen, I can't no more. Like I can't, because you go to the Christmas market every single day. I mean, it's fun, it's joyful, it's beautiful. You know, you have all there's like this music and these little huts with the little woodsy crafty thingies, and then it starts. You know, you spend money, more money than you actually want to, because you buy stuff. You spend money on Glühwein. It's expensive, and it's just it's expensive. It's very, let's say, feuchtfröhlich. It's feuchtfröhlich is when it's you're having a lot of fun with a lot of alcohol, and it's very sugary, so it's not really a healthy time.
Okay, I feel like you bad talk tons about Christmas markets, so let's talk about that again.
That is the German talking,
The German complaining.
the German complaining that yes, we go to the Christmas market like too often, so that at the end of the Christmas market season, you kind of like, oh, can't wait until next year.
Okay, so then as a German that goes to the Christmas market, like you just mentioned, you pretty much just eat and drink.
Yes.
What is called the Glühwein, no?
The Glühwein, and like I said, they're usually...
Which is pretty much mulled wine.
What?
Mulled wine. I think that's the official English term.
It's hot wine?
No, it is mulled wine because it's not just warm wine, it's wine with like spices in it.
That's true. What? Mulled?
Mulled wine, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's Glühwein, okay? It's Glühwein. There is white Glühwein and red Glühwein, although the red Glühwein is the traditional one. But then now, of course, because it's fancy, yeah, you have different types of the red Glühwein. You have them from like blueberry, you have them from like cherry, you have them from I don't know what. You can have them with whiskey, with rum, with tons of things.
Hot chocolate also, right?
Hot chocolate also.
Hot chocolate with rum.
Yes.
That's very good.
Then there are shots also. It you know, now it became a way bigger thing, an art, yeah, than it used to be. So it's a lot of fun. I love the Christmas markets. My favorite one is actually the one in Cologne. Don't say that, being in Düsseldorf.
Oh, ooh, let's cut this out.
So I really, really enjoy it. It's just also very stressful, and they're usually full and crowded, and you have to like get yourself to, no, I was first, I want the next Glühwein, you know? So that's kind of the Christmas market experience.
Okay, cool. Okay, so during Advent season, I think we talked a lot about Advent season, right? So we determined that it starts with the you have this Adventskranz, which you light up every Sunday in the traditional German household. You go to the Christmas markets. So when do you buy your Christmas tree?
Very good question.
And wait, like, because I know, okay, so we need to talk about the Christmas tree, because I have multiple questions.
Weihnachtsbaum.
The Weihnachtsbaum. So first of all, when do you actually buy it?
Traditionally, so back in the day, families, I mean, the families, I just mean like households, yeah? Families buy the Christmas tree, which is a real one. Let's see. 70% of Germans have a Christmas tree in the house, and only 22 have a fake one. So it's very important for a real German to have a real Christmas tree. And actually, the real Christmas tree is the Nordmann. Oh my God! Is the Nordmann Tanne. It's a very specific evergreen Christmas tree.
Okay.
And sometimes you can even go, you know, and also like cut it yourself. Anyways, you buy it on the 24th. So on
Traditionally speaking,
on our Christmas Eve. So Germans celebrate Christmas on the 24th.
Okay, we'll get into that in more detail,
Yeah.
but let's stick with the Christmas tree. Okay, so you buy it on the 24th. However, nowadays, in modern days, I think younger people might also buy it a little bit earlier, because
Yes.
I see Christmas trees being sold already.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Christmas trees are being sold already now from the beginning of December. And I have the feeling that they're actually being purchased earlier and earlier. When we had ours, we don't get a Christmas tree every year. Kind of depends on where we're celebrating, because I feel like to have a Christmas tree, like something living in your house, you should appreciate it, at least if you...
Well, I must say that we don't get a real Christmas tree anymore, because now we have a wooden one.
That is very true.
So
But
we
when
can reuse it.
That is very true. But when we got one, we got it earlier. We got it maybe, I don't know, on the 18th, 19th, something like that. Because the thing is, you want to make the most out of it, but you also don't want it to be completely dry on the 24th.
Right, because it's like a pine tree, right? So when it gets dry, like all the little needles start falling off. And
that's why it's actually a very big deal where you get your Christmas tree and what kind you get, because the quality determines whether it's still in shape on the 24th or not.
It's a whole science.
So what I can tell you, though, is this year, 2020, I've heard from many friends that they've actually gotten their tree way earlier than usually, already beginning of December, because they're home anyways. They're on the Christmas markets.
True.
They want to have this Christmas feeling, so they get the tree earlier. to enjoy it more.
Huh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So now with the Christmas tree, so traditionally speaking, I remember when you told me this for the very first time, I was like, what? You do what? Like, this is a fire hazard for sure. So they use, I mean, by they, I mean you use, not you specifically, Germans, right? Like, you use real candles.
Yes.
On a Christmas tree.
Yes.
And you let them burn.
Yes.
And you're not watching the Christmas tree all the time as the candles burn.
We are.
Well, we had the candles burning here as we were having dinner, for example.
Right next to it.
But anyway, so tell me a little bit more about like the real candles.
So again, traditionally, yes, it's very true. A traditional German Christmas tree, like I said, is a real evergreen, and it is decorated with wooden ornaments, and it has real candles. They're typically like about this size and quite thin.
And you can buy these candles anywhere, right? Like you can buy them in DM, in the supermarket.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they sell them everywhere. Okay.
Absolutely. And I mean, obviously it's an art to balance them on the little branches, so that they're like all straight and everything. And then you light them, and then of course you watch the tree. And nowadays they stop burning at a certain, when they're too low, because they have like this new technology that candles have. Well, not really technology, but like, you know what I mean. Back in the day when I was a kid, we really eyed it, and then, we would jump up, or my mom's like, hey, Yvonne, can you blow out this one? And hey, Mia, can you blow out this one? And we always jumped up and like blew it out carefully. And no, it never once caught fire.
That I find that like so like weird, because like, how dangerous is that? Especially if you put the candle, like let's say this is a Christmas tree, this is a branch, you put the candle here, it's lit, and then here's another branch.
Yeah, that's why you have to put them strategically on the branches, so there's no other branch on top of it.
Yeah, so that for me was a big like, whoa, we're doing what? Okay, but you said that you grew up with that and you never had a fire. No. Do you know if has any of your friends reported fire? Like, no one that you know? I find that super interesting. Okay, so you have your Christmas tree, it's Advent season, and now let's jump into the real Christmas days. So in Germany, also another thing, if you're brand new here, there's actually 3 Christmas days, not just one. Or 2 traditionally, right? Well, it depends where you come from.
Well, Christmas is 3 days long. How about that?
Yeah, and the cool thing is that you get all those 3 days. If they obviously land in a weekday, you get them off from work.
Yep.
And that would be the 24th. Well, half a day, 24th, 25th full day, and 26th full day.
Yep.
So on the 24th, which this is where we're going to get a little bit more into the culture shocks for me. So the 24th, which is Christmas Eve, what do you do?
Like Jen just mentioned, so the 24th Christmas starts like half day. So the first half until noon, shops are usually open. You see people running around, getting a last shopping done, getting their tree if they don't have one yet, working sometimes depending on your company. And then it's kind of like at noon or at 1, boom, everything shuts down. Literally, it's suddenly the streets are empty, dead. Everyone is at home, preparing for the big night. Whether they're preparing food, whether they're getting dressed, whether they're decorating the tree, whether they're still packaging the Christmas gifts, whatever.
Dead. That's where the song Maybe the Still Night comes into play, right?
Stille Nacht.
Okay, let's not sing it. So, okay. And then the 24th comes along, it's evening. So I also know from, I think you told me once, that some Germans go to church this day?
Actually, when I was still little, we used to go, we're not religious. I never used to go to church
during the
year. But on Christmas, we would go to the Christmette, like the very specific, mass, I would say, for Christmas. Which is usually, it was always on the 24th afternoonish.
Afternoon, okay. And how long is that mass?
I don't know, half an hour, 40 minutes.
Okay, so it's pretty quick. Okay, so then after that you go back home.
Yes.
And then...
Then we would gather around the Christmas tree.
Okay. With real candles, by the way.
With real candles.
Right? Because nowadays, also modern days, a lot of also family have lights.
Traditionally, of course. But if they're not real, if they're lights, they are like white lights. They're never colorful lights. That is very not German.
Ah, true. Okay.
Very not German.
Yeah.
Some would call it kitschy. Anyways, so we gather around the Christmas tree. And then it kind of depends on the family, right? Sometimes the Christmas gifts are already under the tree, so we put them underneath the tree, like all decorated. Sometimes with names on them, sometimes each one has their own little corner. It depends. We gather around the Christmas tree, and then depending on the families, when we were little, we sing Christmas carols. We literally sing Christmas carols.
I remember this. The first Christmas, sorry to interrupt you, the first Christmas that you brought me home, I think also your family made an effort to make it very traditional. I remember there was the Christmas tree with real Christmas with real candles. And then we sat around the Christmas tree, and it was all your family, and we actually sang Christmas songs in German. I had my little text. Some of them are easy to sing, others like no idea, right? Because like I've never heard these songs before, so even the music I didn't know. And you just sing a cappella, right? Like you're not singing along to music, you just sing.
Well, it depends. I mean, I would say traditionally, yes, you sing a cappella. I know back in the day, I used to play the flute. And I had like this amazing Christmas CD that had like the background music, and I would play the main tone.
Okay.
And there we had like music, and then my family would sing along.
Okay. Okay.
But that, I guess, is different for every family. Yeah. And believe it or not, that tradition is actually dying out. I think only what we researched is like only 14% of German families still sing Christmas carols on Christmas Eve. So, I mean, we no longer do it. So I believe maybe it's only done with really small children. I don't know. But traditionally, that's how the 24th would look like, yeah.
Okay. And then after you sing the songs around the Christmas tree?
You unwrap the gifts. Woo!
Ready on before dinner?
Yes.
Okay, all right, okay. So you unwrap the gift, okay, on the 24th, okay. Yeah. And then when is dinner? Because Germans eat dinner very early.
Yeah, I mean, this is all kind of like in the afternoon-ish.
Okay.
And sometimes you have like cake and coffee and kuchen. Cake and kuchen, coffee and kuchen.
Which is cake and coffee. Which is, by the way, very German. That's not only for Christmas season or like anything. Germans love to have their coffee and cake, which is usually around 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's German for yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Please continue.
Yeah, and then you eat. And now I know you're gonna ask me what we're gonna eat.
Yes, because I found out the other day from friends, we were having dinner with these German friends, and they actually asked, "Hey, what do Germans traditionally eat on the 24th?" And I was like, "Well, turkey," and they're like, "No." And so the answer is
the answer.
God,
what's wrong with me today? So the answer actually is the number one dish that is being eaten by Germans, which is more than 50% in all families, is guess what? Drum roll. Sausages and potato salad.
For Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
You have sausages and that's it, and potato salad.
I mean, I don't know if that's it, because my family has never ever done that. My family is not that German when it comes to food.
True.
So my family usually has a 5-course meal.
Okay.
Which is usually a bit fancier also. Not very typical, but that's just how I grew up. My mom loves to cook, and she's very good at it. And so that also lasts a bit longer. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, so then dinner usually ends like around 9?
Depends. Sometimes I remember years when we ate until midnight.
Wow, okay. But if it doesn't last until midnight, then what do you do?
We sometimes play a game, we talk.
Or?
We bring the granny home.
Or you just go to bed.
Oh.
As easy as that. So if you come from like North America, right, like the US and Canada, I don't know if anywhere else in the world that celebrates Christmas this is the case. So in North America, it's pretty common that on the 24th you just go to bed, right? Also the song, like we talked before, like the Still Night. How is it in English? Silent Night. I translated the German song, which is Still Night. Anyways, however, in Guatemala and Latin America, I don't know all about Latin America, but I know a few countries, this is completely different. Like on the 24th, you actually wait until midnight and you're eating during this time, right? And you're talking. And then midnight comes along, everyone goes out of their house, and then they burn fireworks and firecrackers. It's mainly firecrackers, so just to make some noise. And I think the tradition comes from celebrating that Jesus is born or something like that. And so after midnight, after you burn all your firecrackers, which by the way, you buy tons. Like you are like 30 minutes like burning stuff. It's like kind of like New Year's, right? So after all this mess, then you kind of like wish your neighbors Merry Christmas and you go visit them, and sometimes they invite you in and you end up like drinking more, and then it's 5 a.m. on the 25th and then you go to bed. So for me to go to bed in my first years in Germany at like sometimes it's like really 9:30, 10 because you've been working or cooking all day. It's like, this is really early. Yeah.
Completely normal, no?
Yeah, for here,
no?
Yes. Yeah, no?
Yeah.
So on the 25th, you wake up?
Yeah, you wake up, you sleep in, you have a
You mean you sleep in and then you wake up?
Yes, that way around. And then you have a quiet day. It's like I said, it's a day off, no matter what weekday it is. And again, you enjoy time with family. Depending on how big your family is, you might spend that day with a different part of a family, or with like the if you were German, we would spend it with like your parents, or
Okay.
you know, like you go see family. My family is very small, so we stay at home. And if not on the 25th, usually you dine out, or you do like raclette or fondue, which
They're Swiss, right?
they're Swiss, but they're very popular in Germany, and they're usually family dishes. So you put them in the middle of the table, and everyone either has a skewer or a little pan, and it's a very communicative family meal. So that's very common also to do. And the same goes for the 26th. Very quiet. People that travel to see the family, slowly start to go back home, and it's just 2 days off of work, quiet with your family, and also a little time to reminisce. Usually on TV you have all these shows that reminisce the year and do the highlights and I don't know what. So
Yeah. So it's a very quiet time, obviously, right? Yeah. We forgot to mention something. We talked about coffee and cake, but we didn't talk about what we eat in coffee and cake time, or like the sweets during Advent season, right? So let's jump into that briefly. So what kind of sweets do you traditionally eat in Germany during Christmas time?
A lot of them. So the most traditional, I would say, German Christmas sweet in that sense is
The Advent calendar.
Also.
Okay.
Oh wow! All right. So now we're skipping. Let's stick to the sweets first, and we go to the Advent calendar afterwards.
Okay.
So the sweets, it's the most typical one is a Stollen. A Stollen is kind of like, looks like a meat, like a loaf of meat.
Meatloaf?
No, a loaf of meat, like the shape.
You mean a loaf of bread?
Oh my God.
A loaf of bread, yes.
Yeah, it's like a loaf of bread. I mean, I'm pointing at you, and you like slice it down like bread slices, and it's it has marzipan, raisins, and stuff in it. I don't know. It's the most famous one comes from Dresden, which is in Eastern Germany, and it's called the Dresdner Christstollen. So that's not really my favorite because it tends to be very dry in the middle.
Which, by the way, also because it's so dry, people put butter on it just to make it even like not so dry.
Put more fat on the fat, or you can just eat what is our favorite. You can take it from there. Now I know you want to eat it, and it's the so-called Stollenkonfekt because it's Stollen. Yeah, but it's Stollen in bite-sized forms, and that makes it just so juicy.
God, so delicious. I'm gonna bite one because I can't resist.
Yummy, very juicy those are. And so that's a very famous German Christmas sweet. Then of course you have gingerbread, and you have the famous Plätzchen, and those are Christmas cookies. And it's very common also during the Christmas time that you bake them yourself with your family or your friends. And there are different types of them, of course. I'm just going to ramble some names out here. There are the Spekulatius, the Vanillekipferl, the Butterkekse, the Spritzgebäck, the whatever,
Okay.
So German Christmas cookies play a very big role during Christmas time, yeah.
Okay, that's super interesting. But then you usually eat this during the Advent season?
Yes.
And during Kaffee and Kuchen. Coffee and cake.
Yeah, as a little sides next to the cake, yeah.
So another very German thing that you do during this Advent time is called, well, I don't know if it's called, but it's...
Well, you call it.
Well, but you consume it. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It's the Advent calendar, or the translated is pretty much the
Adventskalender.
Calendar.
Yeah. Adventskalender.
What is that?
Yeah. The Adventskalender, it's so traditionally it's a little card, postcard style that has 24 doors on it, and the 24 doors, and the door with a 24 on it, so they're numbered. It's usually a bit bigger because that's the big Christmas day. For us, the 24th is the Christmas day. And every morning you wake up and you open the door.
Wait, but every morning starting when? On the 1st of December?
Yes.
So you open them from the 1st of December till the 24th?
Correct.
Okay, so you open the door.
Yeah, you open the door. Traditionally, it's just a countdown for Christmas and a little joy. You're one day closer, and traditionally there's just a little painting behind it. You never had that because it's back in the day.
I'm like, what? So you're super excited and you only get like a little painting?
Yeah, I know.
Kind of sucks.
But nowadays, it's a way bigger thing, right?
Yes, and I definitely prefer the modern version because, for example, you have the traditional now, modern traditional. To have chocolates, right? Like, and you have from like very expensive brands to maybe the cheapest brands, and they all have the Advent calendar with like their special chocolates. But you can also have super cool things. For example, Yvonne got for me one year an advent calendar that was like Lego Christmas.
Whoop, whoop.
What? It was Star Wars Lego Christmas. I'm sorry. Yeah. And every day I would open a door, have a little pack of like Legos that I needed to build my own one. Wait, did you take it?
Oh.
And my favorite one, which I absolutely kept, was R2D2 as a reindeer. How cool is that? Well, if you're not into Star Wars, sorry. Hashtag geeking out. Anyway, so yeah, and now you can pretty much get an advent calendar for anything.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's even like advent calendar for like Tiffany's or something.
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
And what's even cooler, obviously, is if you don't buy one, but if you make one your own, and you can have free flow of creativity. When I was a kid, super cool. I loved it so much. We had like this, 24, of course, little made out of paper, cardboard, like basically old castle towers.
Wow.
And my dad had like these big black stones, so he put them all together, and then he put the castle towers like so they would all stand up, and then he had like this spray snow, and so he would spray it all over, so it looked like this like snowy medieval castle, and each castle had a number on it, right, 1 to 24. And then every morning, my sister and I, we had to swap. So, every second day, we would run down, search the number, because it was always downstairs, search the number and lift the little tower up. And sometimes there was directly a little sweet underneath it. Sometimes, though, there was a little paper underneath it where my mom had, kind of like given us a riddle or something. And then we had to search the house to find the actual gift. So can you imagine those mornings? Oh, my God. Love them.
Pretty sure but are you going to school during this time?
Yeah, but you wake up earlier.
That's what I'm saying, that you have to kind of wake up earlier to be in school in time. Okay, so then you grew up with an Advent calendar.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so then we talked about the Advent season, how to celebrate the 3 days, how Germans celebrate the 3 days of Christmas in Germany. And now we have the question of what do you do with your Christmas tree afterwards? Because it's like a real tree, right? And you have that in your house.
Right, yeah, it's a real tree in a house.
Wait, first of all, sorry to interrupt, when do you take it off?
So usually we keep it still inside even after Christmas until, let's say, the 6th of January. Why the 6th? Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's just always been like a set date. Maybe because it's like
It's the wise men.
It's the 3 wise men.
Which, by the way, in other parts of Europe, like Spain, it's actually when they celebrate Christmas the most. That's for them, like their big Christmas celebration, and it's the day of the 3 wise men. It's called. Yeah.
In German, they're called die Heiligen Drei Könige. Yeah.
Genau.
And that's when you start taking your tree outside. And how do you do that? I mean, you don't want to cut it up like the branches off. First of all, that's super hard.
And what do you do with the trunk, right?
What do you do with the trunk? Plus, I mean, by now they're really dry. So the moment you touch them or try to cut it off, like the needles start falling, and that's just a mess. So you very carefully carry it out without trying to touch it anywhere.
Or you put like I think when we did it, we put a big plastic bag around it,
Yeah,
right?
if you're in a family house, let's just say it that way, you just take it out the front door, yeah? And you put it onto the sidewalk, usually on the 6th, 7th, or 8th of January, because, and I know this is your favorite.
This is like my favorite German thing, I think. I have multiple German things, but I think this is one of my favorite things because we're in Germany, there is a set date when the trash collection is going to come and pick up the Christmas trees.
Yep.
What?
So if you've watched our video of recycling in Germany, if you don't, do it now because it's very hilarious. And there we talk further about this. You have like a calendar of when your trash gets picked up, and you have like a teeny tiny little Christmas tree in it. Usually on the 6th, 7th, or 8th of January, depends on your neighborhood. And that's when, the specific trash truck comes to pick up the Christmas trees. And it's quite funny because the days before, when you walk the streets, you see like Christmas tree, Christmas tree, Christmas tree, Christmas tree. You can do Christmas tree hopping on the sidewalk.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Okay, so last but not least, like what do you say to people during the Advent time? Or like, you say Frohe Weihnachten?
Frohe Weihnachten, you say at Christmas, yes.
During Christmas, okay. But I remember my colleagues used to tell me before leaving work when they went to their holidays, right? Oh, which by the way, they took 2 weeks because, if you live in Germany, you have at least 30 days of holidays. They would say Frohe Weihnachten und guten Rutsch.
Yeah.
And when I translated that, okay, Frohe Weihnachten, that's like Merry Christmas. And then guten Rutsch was like good slide.
Good slide.
And for the longest time, I was like, why do they want me to like slide good? I'm like, I don't get it. But that's what you say for what?
For New Year's.
Yeah.
We say Frohe Weihnachten und guten Rutsch. And we basically say guten Rutsch, like have a good slide into the new year.
Yeah. So in that note, we hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this kind of content, make sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. And from Simple Germany, we wish you a
Frohe Weihnachten and a guten Rutsch.
Tschüss.